Right, welcome back. It's been a while since I finished Metal Gear X. It's next project time. This is going to be a hero build for me. This is the third of the 5 rally car kits that I bought over the course of 2019 and last year. And I've been really looking forward to building this, so here's the next model. Going over to my model table. It is the 124 Ford Focus WRC 2000 Acropolis Rally winner. So I think that's Greece, I think, yeah. For the 2000 season. From Hasegawa. Box art's pretty much standard. You got a nice action shot there with Carlos Sainz. The one on the top, the main box art is for Colin Mcrae. Nothing on the underneath, so I'll just put it on the top of the fridge freezer. So you do get a lot of plastic. So you've got some roll bars, footwell, steering wheel, bit of suspension, brake hub, calipers, front bumper, a few bits and bobs, I don't know what that is. You got the main underneath chassis. Details quite nice, not too bad. Some bits of the suspension maybe. A dashboard probably. Yep, that's the dashboard. Front bumper. Rear, very small rear wing. You've got the main body shell. That's not looking too bad. Got some door panels, probably the roof of the roll cage. Moving them to one side, you got your wheels and your rubber tyres with gravel setup. Bucket seats, some clear parts, windscreen, probably rear screen. Indicators and lights, side windows. I've got some masks as well. I don't know if they're going to be as good as the Tamiya ones. There's actually some photo etch which I'm quite chuffed with. So you've got seat belts and that. I think that's mainly seat belts. Front and rear grille maybe. Oh, get some mirrors as well for the rear view mirrors. You get your tyre decals that you put on with your water in your finger. Some kind of like bendy rubber. I don't know if them are for the seat belts, I don't know. I had some of them in my previous rally car kit, but I never used it. Kit decals are really nice, not bad. Now this is from the 2000 season. You get the choice to do Colin Mcrae and Nicky Grist with Lewis Moyer and Carlos Sainz. I'm going to do Colin Mcrae because Colin Mcrae is one of my all-time sporting heroes. Tragically lost. Now I'm not going to be doing it to the 2000 season. I'm going to be doing it to the 2001 season. So I've got me a set of decals. These cost me just under £10 because the main thing I like about the 2000 season is these little ribbons that are on the roof. I'm just going to pause this a sec. Right, because I had to dig out the pictures and the reference guide. You can see the difference between the 2000 season and the 2001 season. Now, the decals on the side are pretty much the same, but it's the ones on the roof that I wanted, the ribbon. So you get the front ribbon that comes from the rear of the front windscreen, and then the ribbons go over the back windows over the top. That's why I bought this seat sheet for. Now this is made by Rally Miniature from France, and it cost me €9.87, so it's about just over £9 off eBay. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing the 2000 car to the 2001 livery. So there's my little kit review done. It's time to get cracking on. Right, so I've started work on the focus now. I'm on step 1. Now, unlike the Tamiya 2 rally kits that I did before, where it tells me to do the underneath chassis with the suspension, this one's telling me to do the underneath chassis with the interior first. So that's what I'm doing. So basically, I've got all the sprues that I need for step 1. The bucket seat, racing seats, I've just sprayed that in the primer. The other sprues, I sprayed them in the grey primer, let those dry, and then sprayed them in the white. So you've got the underneath chassis, which is F5. And it says here, for chassis underside painting directions, consult step 11 in the assembly instructions. So that's what I've done there. So for this main part of the exhaust pipe, you've got silver. You've got gold there. You've got this engine block or whatever it may be, and support struts, that's in gloss black. And then that may be the prop shaft there. I've painted that in the gunmetal. And that's pretty much the underneath painting I've got to do. So turning that back over. So this part's F5. So I've got to put all these bits inside with the racing seats. So going to me tripod, because I've bought a little tripod for this now, so just moving that down slightly. So with the racing seats, which is S1 twice, now it's telling me to do all that work with the rubber sheet and cut it all out and use them photo etch parts for the 5-point harness and the adjustment straps. I feel that's going to be wasted, the photo etch, so I'm going to keep the photo etch for another build. So what I've done, if you remember from my aftermarket decal sheet, I've used all the seat belt decals from that. So you've got the 2 main seat belts there over the shoulders. You've got the 2 side strappings and the between the leg strapping. So I've put all those in. Microset, Microsol and seal. Then I've got the kit supplied driver names. Trying to zoom in, I can't pick it up. So this one's got Nicky Grist on it, which is decal 55. So you've got Nicky Grist Sparko. You've got a Sparko decal there, and one on the underside. On this seat here, you've got Colin Mcrae and Sparko. Sparko there and Sparko on the back. Now I painted the racing seat in anthracite. Once that had dry, then put the decals on Microset, Microsol and sealed them with a clear gloss. So that's those done. Then you've got the footwells, which are R10 and R11 respectively. Painted those in the anthracite. You've got the R10, which has got the fire extinguisher built in, so I've painted that in the red with the silver for the straps. Decals put on as well. That took a while to get curl round, but about 3 applications of the Microsol later, it's finally sucked in. Once that had dried, I just sealed it with a clear gloss. You got red for the handle, silver for the actual nozzle, and black there. Then you've got this piece here, which is Q4, which will sit in the back there. And you've got Q1 for the tyre. So that one's Q4. I just masked off around the edges of the tank and painted that in the gloss black. And the spare wheel, again, when I sprayed the sprue in the white, I just painted the tyre in anthracite. And that goes in on top of there, on that armature there, the little circular rod. I've also done the some kind, I don't know if it's a handbrake assembly, so you've got silver and black. So now those are more painted on the sprues, I can actually start work on step 1. Right, welcome back. I've done some work on the Ford Focus now, construction wise. So from the previous update, I'd painted all these bits on the sprue, and the seats and that, and I've now put them into place on the interior of the chassis. So you've got all the bits there. You've got the footwells, you've got the centre console with that handbrake assembly, you've got that plate and the spare wheel. So that's all glued in now. Actually, I'll just do that. So all that's glued in now. The foot plates, centre console, the rear section, that plate with the spare wheel. Going now, turning the page over, you got this piece here, this like triangular shaped rod, and the cross piece of the roll cage. But this is where it might get a bit confusing for you. So turning this back up again, if you look on stage 4, where you've got to do all that seat belt thing, it looks like the actual cross frame is actually, it looks like you've got to glue the seats to the back of that, but you don't do that. I don't know why they've put that on there, because it confused me a little bit with the cross roll bar, because then it's telling you to put all that in, and I'm thinking, well, there's nothing to glue the cross beam to the back of the seats. There's nothing. There ain't nothing there. There ain't no channels, no grooves, no nothing. So just ignore that, basically. Don't glue that to that. So what I've done is I've got the R3 triangular cross beam there, and that goes into the little channels. Turning that back down again. That goes into the little channels there. There's one there and one there, and then there's 2 little mounting holes at the back of here. So you just push those down into the grooves, line the 2 pegs up with the 2 holes, and then just whack the glue in. And then you've got the cross beam itself. Now there's a little hole there, and a little hole there, and a peg on the bottom of the cross beam, and that's all that holds that in. So what I did is I got my knife, because it kept wanting to tip forward, so I pushed that in there like that to keep that there. And then I pushed the seats, because you've got these little grooves there just below, under my finger, and I just put that there on the mounting tab to stop that from going forward like that. So that's what I did, both seats. Once it dried, then I removed both seats and removed the knife, and that's dried perfect. Now, if you remember that I said I wasn't going to use the rubber and the photo etch for the belt buckles and that, so what I've done is I've got some of my ribbon that my wife bought me from eBay, and I've just cut off a centimetre piece there and a centimetre piece there, just to drop a super glue in the channel there so it meets the seat belts decals, and I just let them set and then met them in the middle. So I've done that for both seat belts. So those will now be ready to mount to these mounting tabs here. The seat belt will go into the back, and then it'll be tied on to that back triangular frame. So moving the camera up, as it says on the plans there. So that's what I've got to do next. So don't glue the seats to that bloody cross beam. Just put the cross beam in first. But that being said, that's where I'm sitting at the moment.